Great. So without much delay, let me share my screen with you to start our official presentation. Okay, it's going to be this one. Okay, here you go. Right. So once again, welcome to this exclusive masterclass presented by EUGateway on Bachelor Education in Germany. Okay, a bit more about myself. This is a text written for you to read, but I'll give you a bit more about myself. I have 15 years of educational experience in the field of higher education and management. I did my MBA from Germany from the class of 2006. I was a part of a public university called Hochschule Offenburg. And since 2006, I've been working for various German companies before I founded EUGateway in 2016. And then we have been associated with this company for the last 5 years, helping it to grow and helping students as well to develop their knowledge regarding German higher education as well as various education opportunities available in European market. Uh, Beside my education as a passion, interest, hobby, I have also developed a few other interests, which is into beverage market, into restaurant business, and I also specialize in startups, helping companies with market research, market entry requirements, sales and business development, business setups, operations, and marketing. This has been an overall for the last 15 years what I did with my career, with my jobs, for you to know. Moving on, some ground rules. Please keep these things in mind. It's important during the masterclass. This is going to be around 90 minutes. I want you to be present, to be engaged. Please take notes. There would be a lot of information which will be shared, which would be meaningful for you. So please do take notes. Please be respectful while communicating. Do not put unnecessary comments or messages which are not relevant in today's masterclass. Please only unmute when asked to unmute, and then you can ask your questions or any query which you would have. And also try to be engaged within this masterclass if something is being asked and some exercise been given to do. Just quickly setting up the agenda for today, we're going to talk about bachelor educations in Germany. I'm going to present some statistics about Indian students or bachelor degree students in general in Germany, followed by names of some universities and some English taught bachelor's program. I think that's what is really keen and important for a lot of people today. Want to know what kind of bachelor programs in English language being offered by different universities in Germany. I'm going to touch upon an entire topic, which is Studienkolleg. A lot of students, I have learned from my experience, have a confusion regarding Studienkolleg, regarding various ways of how to approach Studienkolleg or this foundation program. Then we will introduce our speaker and bring in EURASIA Institute from Berlin. They are expert in providing foundation programs, German language courses, and pathways for a lot of international students who want to come to Germany. We will also be talking about bachelor's program in nursing. This is interesting for a lot of people who are looking for career in nursing in Germany. EURASIA provides a very direct route for your careers in nursing in Germany. Also, we will be talking about a bachelor's program opportunity for people who would like to learn in German language at TU Berlin. This is also a very interesting pathway exclusively available with EURASIA Institute Berlin. And this could also be a very nice information for a lot of you to know. And then we will have some question and answers with Andrew Geddes. He's a speaker, he's a guest speaker, he's a founding director of EURASIA Institute. Followed by, we will open our question and answers for general discussion. So this is agenda, and it should last around 90 minutes in total if I will not to go overboard with my speech. But then, yes, I think this is the time you should schedule. Stay till the very end, because the information will continue till then, and question and answer, which is the most important, which all of you would have in mind, would be taken up at the end of the presentations. Okay, so very important question. Why bachelor's in Germany? Why one should look at going to Germany for bachelor studies and not to the other country? I think the answer is very clear. When we are talking about Germany, we are talking about top ranked universities across Europe. That is the foremost reason. Number two, I think we as Indian, we know ki why we want to come to Germany, because the famous answer which I get with a lot of students is the German education is free. The tuition fee, there is no tuition fee in Germany, and that is why we want to come to Germany for higher studies. That is the reason number one. The reason number two is, of course, the top ranked universities, the quality of German universities, the education in Germany, the careers which are possible after studying at the top public German universities, and of course, the another reason which has been thoroughly backed by a lot of students and parents is the stay opportunity in Germany after your graduation. So these are a couple of reasons which I have just summarized for you to understand that these are the main reasons why people look forward to come to Germany for higher studies. Studying for free at a public university. So there's a distinction. So let me explain a bit of a distinction about a public university in Germany and a private university in Germany. For those of you who do not know this distinction, it is very clear that private universities have a tuition fees. This is the most important distinction, whereas the public universities are government funded and they do not have any tuition fee. And that is where it becomes attractive for a lot of students to come to public universities in Germany. And also, not to forget the quality of education provided by public universities and as over private universities. So private universities also provide quality education, top class. They are top ranked, but there is only uh, topic which you keep in mind is that you got to pay a fees at a private university. You do get scholarships. There are full scholarships, part scholarships, but then getting an entry at a private university, sometimes it's little easier as compared to getting an entry into a public university because of the limitation of the seats these universities have. Okay, as I just said, top quality bachelor's program in Germany. You will discover that professors are not only devoted to students but also dedicated researchers. So this is another, I think, key point to remember, that professors are not just coming and teaching and going. They are actually actively involved in a lot of research activities, and that is where the quality of delivery in their research comes out to students, and that's where the learning for the students becomes very enriched. So this is very important, which you can keep in mind, that most of the professors are researchers as well at the public universities or private universities in Germany. German research is highly appreciated internationally, particularly in the fields of medicine and engineering. I think we all know about Germany, very famous for engineering studies. And since when I went 15 years back, I also knew that Germany is for engineering, but then at that time I went to Germany to do my MBA program, and then I discovered a whole new segment of education and a career which could be made in Germany, minus engineering degree. So same goes with engineering and then the medicine field. I will touch upon a bit on the medicine studies. Probably if there would be a question, I will touch. Otherwise, we will discuss this with our guest also. Why medicine in Germany is so highly ranked, and why it is as well so difficult to get into medicine studies in Germany. Another reason, as I said, so one is there is no tuition fees at a public university. Then there is another choice that student gets a lot of scholarships. So that you have a choice to get a lot of scholarships in Germany from the government, from the university, or from the donor organizations. There are a lot of donor organizations like DART Scholarship, Deutschland Stipendium, which helps you to finance part of your living expenses as well, along with your tuition fees in Germany. So this is another important criteria why people look forward to come to Germany for their higher studies. These are some private foundation. You want to make a note of this. This Heinrich Ball Foundation, Konrad Adenauer Stiftung, Scholarships, Bayer Foundation. These are only three names. There are around 80 to 100 foundations who are providing scholarships to qualified students who apply for higher studies in Germany. If you are interested to have this scholarship, type yes in comment box. and email it to me. I will put my email address directly in the comment box. Please email it to me, and I will share this list of around 80 to 100 foundations who provide scholarships at various level to students in Germany, and this would be a very useful resource for you as well. I will ask my colleague Purab to put my email ID in the comment box, and then you would send me an email with the request for this list, and I would be very happy to share it with you. Affordable cost of living, not really affordable if you talk about the entire Europe, but then yes, anything between 700 to 1000 euros per month is the living expenses in Germany. The larger, the famous the city you go in, the more expenses you occur. So if you stay in Munich, Frankfurt, Stuttgart, Dusseldorf, then there are, a bit of an increased price. But then if you stay in a countryside, in a slightly smaller cities, then you do not occur higher costs, and I think you can easily survive within 600 or 700 euros. The German government mandate the minimum expenses around 860 euros per month, but I think we as Indians sometimes always are able to manage it in a less amount. But this does not change the requirement which the government has set for a block account for your 1 year of living expenses. That is minimum which you need to put in to your account. All right. This is an important statistics. High employment chances. The percentage of people employed in Germany is about 74%. The country ranks 6th out of 38 countries in Europe. So this is already, taking leading Germany out of the pack from all those 38 European countries, with the 74% of chances of getting employed right after your bachelor's studies as well. And this also means that 3 out of 4 people would land a job after the studies in Germany. Some statistics which I would like to present just for the knowledge of the audience which is present today. This is the international student data. There are around 4 lakh students studying in Germany at various universities. This is international student data, but let me touch around. You can see in this pie chart the growth which is happening from 2015 to 2018 9 from 2014-15 to 18-19, from 321,000 students to almost touching 400,000 students. So you can see the attractiveness of Germany as a student destination, as a study destination, is increasing year on year. Some data on Indian students. There are currently around 21,000 Indian students enrolled at various universities in Germany. This is data from 2019, and we are seeing constantly growth. So I tell you from my experience, when I went to Germany in 2006, I think there are around 5,000 Indian students who were studying across various universities in Germany. There are various reason factors why Germany was not a first choice for Indian students in the past, and they still think that it is easy to go to US, Canada, Australia, UK as compared to Germany. There are various reasons for thinking like this, but then regardless of these thinking, which is easy admission, no learning of a language, higher stay back, regardless of these comparison points, interest of students coming to Germany is increasing day by day. So this is I think a factor for you to keep in mind as well, and that is why these statistics been presented, that Germany is getting very attractive for international students and especially for Indians as well. Some data for bachelor studies as of 2019, maybe a little bit of old data, but then still gives you an idea. Around 37% of the international students who are attending colleges in Germany or universities in Germany attending are at bachelor's degree. So with this statistics, it brings to the fact that it is now not difficult to get an entry at bachelor's level. From the past, it has been an experience that people only joined higher education at master's level, not at bachelor's level. But now the trend has reversed. The parents are more open to send their kids right after the school to attend a bachelor's degree, not only in Germany but at different parts globally. So this trend has really changed the game, and has made education abroad for India as a, you know, some billion-dollar industry, if I have to put it like this. There's a lot of foreign currencies outflow because of this change in the trend. Around 38% master's degree students. PhD percentage is low because it's not easy to get into a PhD programs in Germany. And then there are some other degree programs and non-degree courses also comprises a total of international students, which I just shared in the past, from around 4 lakh Indian students who are studying, not Indian students, 4 lakh international students who are studying at various universities in Germany. Okay, now I'm going to present you some universities name. These are the top universities in Germany where you could study your bachelor's degree as well as masters and different topics. But this is, I'm presenting these as a part for your direct knowledge. Please make a note of these universities. It will be helpful for you for your further research when you plan to start your bachelor studies in Germany. LMU, Ludwig Maximilian University, one of the top most university in Germany and highly rated and regarded. You have a choice to study bachelor's program at LMU in English language. There are a lot of German taught programs, but there are few programs which are being offered in English language as well at LMU. Same status for Freiburg, Freie University Berlin. A lot of programs available. Fees from 0 to up to 7,300 euros per semester, again depending on the program you apply. But then yes, you can study bachelor's at Freie University Berlin also. Heidelberg University, another top rated public university in Germany. RWTH Aachen, I think a lot of Indians goes to RWTH Aachen for their master's studies. And now if you are taking interest to come even for bachelor's degrees in Germany. TUM, I think this is top on the mind for all the master students who want to come to Germany. Their masters in management or masters in management and technology program is highly rated, is top regarded, and I think from India itself we are sending thousands and thousands of applications to TU Munich. It's very famous across Indian environment, Technical University of Munich. TU9 University, offering around 16 master's program offered in English language. TU Dresden at the moment does not have any English taught bachelor's program, but they have a lot of interesting programs at bachelor's level, which you also can pursue. If you learn German language, I think the path becomes easy and you actually study for free. All these are top ranked universities. TU Dresden, TU Munich, these are like IITs of Germany, if I have to correlate it. It's very so it's free. You do not pay a tuition fee at this university, and they are highly rated. Only requirement from your side is please learn German language, get an entry, and do a program in a German taught bachelor's, and I think your career would be set. Similarly, University of Göttingen, again a top-rated university. University of Freiburg, it's a student city, student university, and a lot of students come here to study at University of Freiburg. It's in a very nice, beautiful environment in a Black Forest. I have personally visited University of Freiburg, and I think I was amazed when I was as a student visiting Freiburg. Fantastic city to be in. University of Bonn, the earlier capital of Germany, and you also have a choice to study bachelor's degree at University of Bonn in English language, and also University of Bonn is famous for medicine studies in Germany. University of Tübingen, another student city. Tübingen is a student city, and you have a lot of study opportunities as well at University of Tübingen. I am hoping that you all are making notes out of these universities, because this is going to be a homework for you when this masterclass gets over, to go and research these universities and find programs of your interest. University of Münster, famous university once again, and FAU Erlangen Nuremberg, again one of the top rated highly regarded university in international arena, FAU Erlangen and Nuremberg, and they have bachelor's program in English language as well. So to summarize, there are around 140 taught English bachelor's program in Germany. So this gives you an idea that not everything at the bachelor's level is in German language. There are 140 English taught bachelor's program available at various universities in Germany. So you take a note of this, that you have a choice to study a bachelor's program in English language as well. What can you study in Germany? I think leaving leaving uh, mute yourself. Leaving behind law studies, medicine, some social science studies, which is actually only available in German language. Rest of the education and choices are available in English language, which you see, and I am sure you would find interest or the study area within this broad fields of studies at bachelor's level. All right. So we list here some of the programs as well for which you can make a note what kind of bachelor's program available at these top universities which are offered in English language. So a lot of query about computer science studies at bachelor's level, you can come and do it at Heidelberg universities. And when you see fees here, which is around 2.6 lakhs, so this is basically not the fees but a semester contribution which you pay to the university every semester, and this is across some universities charges it, some university does not charge it. So you have a choice to, depending on the program you enroll, you pay a semester contribution, or sometimes you don't pay. So for example, biotechnology bachelor's, there is no tuition fee. Bachelor's in biology at Heidelberg University, no tuition fees, and these are English taught bachelor's program. Okay, and then we have RWTH Aachen. You can choose environmental engineering bachelor's program. You can choose BSc in sorry, just went ahead. BSc in psychology, BSc in mathematics. These are English taught programs at RWTH Aachen, famous university in Germany. University of Göttingen has agricultural science bachelor's, mathematics bachelor's in English language. Just keep a note, take a screenshot or something, whatever you would like to do, because this is very interesting for you to know. This is at Albert Ludwigs University of Freiburg in Breisgau. They have only one, possibly one program in English language, which is in economics. So a lot of people who want to go for economic studies, they can come to this Freiburg University. University of Bonn, they also have a bachelor's program in computer science. It is in English language. A lot of people who have an interest can make a note of this. University of Münster, they have bachelor's in medicine, bachelor's in psychology, bachelor's in biology in English language. For your information, just to make a note. The criteria, admission and documentation all differ, which we will shortly discuss as well. Erlangen Nuremberg University discussed already a bit about it. One program, BSc in biology in English language. Okay, so these are some, let's say, between 20 to 50 ranked universities in Germany, which are also offering program in English language at bachelor's level. You can also make a note of this, of these universities. SRH University, this Berlin University of Applied Science. This is a private university, but also have good programs in, for example, advertising and brand communication and some similar areas. Rheinwald University of Applied Sciences is pretty famous among students in India, English taught bachelor's program. And this, the one which is mentioned here, is agribusiness. TH Ingolstadt, very famous among master's students. They also have a bachelor's program in autonomous vehicle engineering. Similarly, Berlin International University, they have an architecture program, aviation management program at Worms University of Applied Sciences, BA Business Administration and Human Resource Program at Berlin International University. Once again, HTW Berlin offering bachelor's program in international business. And then we have bachelor's program in computer science from Jacobs University, Bremen. Private university, top rated, and good quality of program. And this is actually one of the most international university you would find in Germany, which is Jacobs University. I hope you have made a note. For those who have a very specific query, can always come back to us and email us, and then we will be very happy to share further details on these English taught bachelor's program with them. Okay, now we move on to very important topic for today, which is Studienkolleg. Let me just quickly see if I'm not running with the time. Okay, we have another 15 minutes. I will run you through with this very important topic of Studienkolleg. What is Studienkolleg? Yeah, for you to understand, Studienkolleg is a foundation program. Why it is needed, why it is required. I will quickly share another slide so that we come to entire topic of Studienkolleg. Give me a second. Okay. So let me know if you can see my screen for Studienkolleg.
Sir, please unshare your screen and share again so that we can see your screen.
Okay, wait, I'll do that. Wait. Wait, I need to. No. All right, so we're talking about bachelor's. You see my screen now?
Yes, sir, we can.
All right, perfect. Okay. So just a summary about what we're going to touch in this Studienkolleg topic, why Germany schooling system. Ayush. The gentleman is Ayush, who wanted to listen to the music than to have the presentation. All right. Okay. Let's start with the Studienkolleg. What we're going to touch is the Studienkolleg documents, finances, visa process, and some guidance. Okay. I already touched about why Germany, so I'm not going to repeat myself here. So famous word from Albert Einstein. The only source of knowledge is experience. Okay, here. So why is Studienkolleg important in context of Indian students? So Indian education system generally is of 12 years, 10 plus 2, whereas Germany, the German education system is of 13 years. So in order to fulfill this 1 year of gap, there is a system which has been devised by Germany, known as Studienkolleg, or a foundation program. And this is very important for the students who come from our normal education board, which is CBSE, ICSE, or state boards. They need to go through this mandatory foundation program in order to qualify to study bachelors in Germany. Now, the students who come from IB board or IGCSE board, I hope you are aware of these boards, they do not need this additional foundation course, because the German government or German education system believes that if a student is coming from international baccalaureate or A levels, or which is IGCSE, then their education is equivalent or qualified to German higher education or German school education system. So that is why a student from an IB board or IGCSE does not need this foundation, and he and she can apply directly to bachelor educations in Germany and will get an admission without any problem. It is only for the students who are from CBSE board or ICSE board. They would need a foundation program to qualify to come to Germany. Now let's try to understand little more about this Studienkolleg process. Meeting schooling criteria, as I just said, IB, IGCSE board, it is okay, your study matches and you can come directly to Germany for your bachelor studies. 1 year, so let me put it like this, how to fulfill your 1 year of gap to qualify to study at bachelor's level in Germany. Number one, if you come from an IB, IGSC board, it is okay. You do not need an additional year or any foundation to come. The other way of fulfilling this 1 year of gap is that you enroll yourself for a 1 year university program in India. Yeah, you enroll yourself for 1 year program in India. You complete this 1 year university in the area of interest in which you would like to come to Germany for your bachelor studies. You complete this 1 year, and then this 1 year would add to your 12 years of school education. This will make total 13 years of education, and then you qualify to come to Germany, and you can skip this foundation and Studienkolleg. Okay, this is number two way of avoiding a foundation program. The third is, of course, as mentioned, 1 year prep course, which is the so-called foundation or Studienkolleg, which we are talking right now, which will give you an entry to the various bachelor education in Germany. Okay, wait a second. Ayush, please do not switch on your. Please do not unmute yourself. Please, otherwise we need to remove you from the presentation. Okay, next slide. Studienkolleg. So I'm going to read it for you so that you get more understanding. Studienkolleg, or so-called foundation course, acts like a bridging element for those students who come from CBSE, ICSE, or state board and have not done any extra year of university education, or simply want to go to experience an extra time in Germany before their bachelor degree course. It is perfect way to fulfill German schooling requirements, learn German language, get direct entrance to public universities in Germany, and international exposure. So this is important to know. Get direct entrance to public universities after Studienkolleg is possible. It's great, followed by your international exposure, which you will get from living and staying in Germany and doing this additional foundation. Okay, now next is, there is always a question regarding public Studienkolleg and a private Studienkolleg. What is the distinction? Public Studienkollegs do not charge tuition fees. Okay, this is an important topic again to keep in mind. Public Studienkolleg do not charge tuition fees, whereas private Studienkolleg does have tuition fees. Now, how to get into a public Studienkolleg vis-a-vis private Studienkolleg? The entrance to the public Studienkolleg is restricted in a way that you need to first prepare yourself with C1 German language. This is the first criteria. You as a student need to prepare C1 German language. You need to then write an entrance exam to get an entry at the German public Studienkolleg. My dear friends, just to let you know, there are around 32 public Studienkollegs in Germany, and spread across the boundaries. In order to get into those Studienkollegs, you need to write an entrance exam. The entrance exam takes place only in German language. For that, you need to have a C1. This is first requirement, C1. Second requirement, you need to you need to give an entrance exam. This entrance exam comprises of mathematics and German language. These are the two most important topics which is covered in entrance exam. You need to prepare for these topics. Then you write an exam. You pass this entrance exam. Then you come, you get an entry to this Studienkolleg. Now, again, there is a distinction. There's an important element which you need to keep in mind even before you write an entrance exam to a public student college. You need to select your university in which you would like to do your bachelor studies. So the step goes, you need to prepare for the university and the program you would like to appear as bachelor student. Then you apply to that university. If university finds your documents all right, they send you an invitation to write an entrance exam for their student colleague. Once you get that invitation, then you write an entrance exam, you pass this entrance exam, and then your admission gets confirmed to that particular university which has sent you this invitation. So even before you decide to start your C1, your entrance exam preparation, you need to also have in mind that the university which you would like to study is already selected, and then accordingly being applied, and then the further process is followed. This is entirely for public university. Again, the the rationale behind selecting public university over private university is that you do not need to pay a tuition fees, and that is where I think it becomes an attractive proposition for a lot of students. It is a tedious process because there's a lot of steps involved, but then at the same time, if you are able to pass these step by hurdles, then I think you are studying for free in Germany. Now, if I come to private student colleagues, here there is a fees which makes all the difference, and then you bypass all the steps. Then you bypass all the steps which I have mentioned in the public student colleague entrance possibility. Yeah. In a private university, there is a fees of around 6,000-7,000 euros and can go up to 20,000 euros for a 1 year student colleague. So yes, the student colleague is for 1 year duration, 2 semester, which I just missed to tell. You only spend 1 year. Foundation year is what we've been talking about. So this is 1 year, 2 semester. The entire fees could lie between 8,000 to 20,000 for a private student colleague. You do not need a German language proficiency to get an entry into a private student colleague. You do not need to write an entrance exam to get an entry into a private student colleague. You can simply apply. They accept you as a student. If you have minimum of 65 or 70% in your 12th class, you will get an entry into this private student colleague. And then while you are admitted to this private student collegue, you study for a year based on the study track which you will choose, and at the same time you would also learn a German language. This is important because regardless of public student colleague or a private student colleague, you are going to write an entrance exam which is known as Feststellungsprüfung. After you finish your 2 semesters, you are going to write an entrance exam. If you pass this entrance exam, your admission gets confirmed. If you fail this entrance exam, you need to repeat your student colleague, or you need to find an alternative of what to do next, because this entrance exam is this is not an entrance exam. This examination is important. Sorry, let me correct myself. FSP, Feststellungsprüfung, is an examination which you write after completing 2 semesters of student colleague, regardless of public student colleague or a private student colleague. There is a possibility at some private student colleague to write FSP in English language. Yes, you heard me right. There is a possibility, but very limited possibility, to write FSP exam in English language. The widely famous and knowledge and known FSP is conducted in German language only. So what are the tracks which you could study in student colleague? These are the different tracks which you need to choose based on your bachelor study requirement. M course, which is actually for medical, biology, or pharmaceutical degrees. T course, which is for mathematics, science, or technical degrees. W course is for business, economics, and social sciences. G course is for humanity courses. S is for language degrees. Yeah, similarly, the applied sciences student colleague would offer you a combination, which is TI for technical and engineering courses. WW is for economics and business degrees. GD is for design and art. SW is for social science degrees. So these are the tracks which you need to select, which you need to apply during your entrance exam, and then accordingly you would study. Please make a note of this. This is important to have a knowledge around this. Okay, applying to Studienkolleg. Another step which you can note down. So I've already discussed various ways of how you can select which one is appropriate for you. IB, IGCSE degree. If you come from CBSC degree, then you got to write. You got to have a foundation course. Or if you do your university year in India, then you can avoid this Studienkolleg. But in case you fall within the category of have to write a Studienkolleg, then these are the steps which you need to follow. Check your schooling certificate. Again, as discussed, from which board you are appearing, you are applying, followed by check with the so this is a website called Anabin, where your school and your qualification gets checked, and if you are coming from that qualification in school, then you can apply directly. And this is a website, Anabin. I can write it in the chat for you also, so that you know about this about this website for you. Okay, just a second. Here you go. You can make a note of this as well, so that this is a helpful tool for you to see that your school and your study which you did at school level is qualified. Then we check documents with Studienkolleg. Whichever Studienkolleg we are applying, we got to check about the application process. We have to collect the document and see whether we apply directly and what are the different steps involved. Accordingly, the application has to be done. There's another player which is UniAssist. We got to check either the Studienkolleg accepts application, or the university accepts application directly, or it's going to be via UniAssist. So this is another, let us say, in between application assistance for different universities in Germany, different public universities in Germany. And then in the end, if it is needed, we got to write an entrance exam, which I have already discussed in my previous slides, whether you need to write an entrance exam or whether you can avoid this. Right. I think I just touched briefly by private Studienkolleg. Here are some more reasons why you should consider private Studienkolleg over public Studienkolleg if you have means and resources to come to private Studienkolleg. Easy admission, no need of German language, no need of Aufnahmeprüfung is an entrance exam, which I said for public Studienkolleg you need it, for private you don't need. German and math exam, I said already. No need for minimum 80% aggregate, which actually you would need when you apply for a public Studienkolleg. For private, I think it is a bit easy. Yeah. You can opt for in a private Studienkolleg also, you can opt to learn either in German or in English language. This is a possibility at a private Studienkolleg. They do not have a limitations in terms of taking in numbers for a particular batch, which is limited to public Studienkolleg, and they also have a strong support for international students in terms of preparing them for language, for exam, and for FSP as well. So these are some of the advantages if you want to come to a private Studienkolleg over a public Studienkolleg in Germany. Application documents vary from a university level to what you want to apply, what documents you should have. These are some general list which is mentioned here. To apply for a Studienkolleg, you need a school diploma, school mark sheets, invitation from the university, which I just mentioned, CV, and proof of a German B2 level, passport copy, and photo. Everything should be notarized. This is important. Yeah, at the university level, if you are applying to a university directly, then you need your final year diploma, which is your 12th mark sheet basically, and foundation course, proof of good scores, CV. Yes, these are some general university documents which would vary from university to university. German B2 level is required if you are applying for a German taught bachelor's program. But if you are applying for English taught bachelor's program, then there would be IELTS and or TOEFL. There would be a set requirement. Some has it, some doesn't have it, or you can also write test AS as if required by a university.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, please close the chat. Someone is messaging everyone privately.
Okay, who is this person, Purav?
They will be sending me name, but someone, Sidhu Ujwala and Lavesh is.
Yeah, can you please ban them, remove them?
I am not having the admin rights. But as of now, please close the chat and see.
Okay. And who is the other person? Lavesh.
So, please close the chat open when we are having Q&A session, so students can ask their doubts also.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Right. Let me continue with my next slide. Finances. What money you need to keep yourself prepared in order to come to Germany. There's an approximation for public and private foundation, but this gives you an idea. If you apply via UNISS, you need to have first application fee, which is 75 euros. Then subsequently, if you're applying for more universities, then you pay 30 euros each as application fees. For a student colleague, you can budget yourself up to 20,000 euros a year, which would also include, so this is include for 2 semesters, and everything is included, not the living expenses, but 20,000 year. Again, this 20 up to 20,000 euros is a private student colleague. Yeah, there are student colleague which charges you only 8,000, 9,000 euros. There are student colleague charges you 6,000 euros. These are private ones. But then there are student colleague who also charges you up to 20,000 euros per annum as a package price. Block account 10,332 euros. This is for 1 year of living expenses, which you need to budget. Tuition fees, as I said, 0 to 20,000 euros, and then there's a visa fees. Apart from that, you got to budget yourself for different topics, which is tickets, notarization, pre-departure, travel insurance, pocket money. This is a general approximation for the finances which you need to keep in mind when you prepare for your bachelor studies, student colleague, foundation course in Germany. Yes, some of the visa process. I think this we will touch it again because this is 101, but it's not needed to discuss at this point in time. And the last slide on student colleague for you to know, which is very important. Once again said by Albert Einstein, time is relative. It's only worth depends on what we do while it passes. Yeah. So keep in mind you are approximately giving 1.5 years to a student colleague. Yeah. This is something which you need to budget. Be wise. Do not sit around waiting for the opportunities to create one. 1.5 years, but then everything after that is going to be like set for you in Germany. Learn the language. I think this is the most important topic for bachelor studies, which you should keep in mind. Learn the language because this will take you farther in your career and job opportunities in Germany, if Germany is your choice of a country. And stay back, gain international exposure, widen your horizons, make your investment count. This is what, in short, what I wanted to present to you about student colleague. It would have given you an idea about how to go about student colleague, what are the ways to bypass student colleague, or if there is a definitive need, then what you should look forward to. Yeah. Right, this is contact. Okay, let me stop my share screen and yeah, it's time now to welcome our guest. Which let me put this out. Oh, okay, no, this is okay. Yeah, sorry, I have to start from here. Okay. So My dear students, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our expert guest, Mr. Andrew Geddes. He's a founding director of EURASIA Institute, which is a foundation and language course institute based out of Berlin. And he's going to present a lot of interesting facts about various foundation possibilities at EURASIA Institute and different possibilities which we have discussed in our agenda about nursing program, about TU Berlin program, and it would be very nice for you to know and welcome Mr. Geddes. Good morning, Geddes. Welcome to our presentation today, and it's so nice to have you on Saturday early morning. And yes, the screen would be all yours, and you can start sharing it. And we're looking forward to an exciting learning and knowledge from you.
Good morning, Sumit, and good morning, everybody else. Can you all hear me okay?
Please type in the chat box. I think yes, we can hear you. It looks okay.
Okay, good. So thank you for your introduction, Sumit, and all the information you have given on Germany. I think you've given everybody so much information that I can finish my talk now. Just joking.
There's a lot more which we need to know from you. This is just an overview which I knew from my experience.
Right. So it's always very valuable to have experience from somebody who's actually done what they're talking about, you know. So you did your MBA in Germany.
Yeah.
And learned a lot about the country, about the people, about the language, about opportunities here. So it's great to hear from first-hand experience. I myself, Andrew Geddes, I came from the UK originally, almost 30 years ago to Germany, and been living here ever since. Okay, so I've done it too. Yeah, I've been a foreigner in Germany, and I found how to work the system. And I set up the Institute EURASIA 1993, 28 years ago, to help people like myself, so foreign students, to come here and be successful. Okay, so that's basically what all of our programs are about. And I'm going to give you a short introduction to the Institute and to our programs.
Yeah, I'm stopping my.
I'm just going to share my.
Yes, you can share your screen, Andrew.
Just going to share my screen with you. So yeah, as I said, our programs are all about becoming a highly paid and successful professional in Germany. Okay, and we have developed a range of products called the Smart Genius Pathways. We are based in the capital city of Germany, which is Berlin, as you know. We are a member of the FDSV, which is the German Association for Quality Language Teaching and International Education. We've helped more than 20,000 students now from over 120 different countries to come to Germany and to study, to graduate, to be successful, and to find work here. Right, so the next slide. Germany continues to be the most attractive destination for studies, but also employment and also for investment. And you mentioned earlier on that 400,000 students are already studying in Germany, so international students. And that shows you how popular it is. So Germany 20 years ago, it wasn't in the top 10 study destinations, but now it's the top 3, okay, after the USA and the UK. So you're looking at one of the best places in the world to study. And many of you know that studying here is also free of charge. So it's a great place to be. So in order to make the most of your studies in Germany, you have to study the German language. Okay, that's something which people find out. Most of them find out the best way. some of people find out the hard way. Okay, I'll tell you a bit more about that later on. Okay, so we also have some career pathway opportunities, okay, for nurses. I'll tell you a bit about that later on. Whichever program you choose to do, the best way to do it is to start learning German online from home. This saves you a lot of time and saves you a lot of money. The visa process for coming to Germany, either as a student or as a trainee or as an investor, is quite a detailed process. If you've understood the process, like anything in life, understanding is 90% of the journey. Once you've understood the process, it's quite easy. Okay, you apply for your visa, and in almost 100% of the cases, you will get your visa if all your paperwork is fine. Okay, and once you arrive here, you can then start your journey of studying and also earning money. All students are allowed to study and work in Germany. So this is something that we help our students to do. Learning German online and becoming a student in Germany is one option. Becoming a nurse in Germany is another option, which, as I said, I'll tell you about that a little bit more. So the Smart Genius products which we have developed all have a success guarantee, okay? And why can we guarantee that you are going to be successful? Basically, if you follow our formula, it's a formula which has worked for 20,000 students over almost 3 decades. So we are quite confident. If you do that, everything we say, and follow our instructions and take our support, then you can be successful. But obviously, you need to work hard. Okay. The first step in our success key is the scientific personal career assessment, and I'll be telling you something about that at the end. That's something that we do for every student to find out what is your calling in life, what are your talents, what are your key greatest strengths, and how can these help you to make the right choice for a career and also the right choice for an academic pathway. Okay, based on step 1, we then help you to make the career-oriented academic placement choice. Okay, this can take a little bit of time, but it's important to take the time here to make sure that you make the right decision and also save your time in the future. Step 3 also saves you time. All of our programs are blended language learning programs, so these take place online. So you're all sitting in the north of India, I guess, and even from home, you can take our programs, okay? All of the programs end in Berlin, okay? And so once you get your student visa, you come over to our institute in Berlin. We have quite a huge institute here, and several hundred students studying at our institute every year. But at the moment, we have even more students online. Okay, so please do benefit from this opportunity to start learning immediately. The process is really simple. Once you've signed up, within days, you can get your course to start the program. Okay, step 4 is the professional immigration and relocation support. So not only do all of our students have the help of Mr. Sumet while you're still in India, once you get to Germany, you also have our complete support with all the logistical aspects of everyday student life. One of the hardest things is getting set up. So in the first 3 months, you will find that our support is very valuable in terms of finding an accommodation and learning how to work the system. Okay. The guaranteed academic and career pathways are step 5. Okay, so before you leave India, you already get from our side the confirmation of academic eligibility or a conditional offer for university. So basically, what you're going to be doing after our pathway program is already decided. Okay, so there's no worries. Okay, what am I going to be doing in 6 months? What am I going to be doing in 1 year? What will I do once I pass the Studienkolleg exam? You don't need to ask yourselves these questions once you arrive in Germany. And that's a very valuable thing because it's questions like that which cost time, and time is money. So you don't waste your time or your money once you arrived in Germany because you know where you're headed. Okay. Of course, I must always emphasize that you need to work hard at everything. Okay. During our program, there will be exams every 6 weeks. During the Studienkolleg, you will have mock exams every couple of months and 2 exams a year and a final exam. And once you're at university, you will also have exams every semester. Okay, so nobody's going to take the exams for you and nobody's going to learn for you. That's your job. But everything we can do to support you, we will do. Okay. So step 6 is that you have your world-class education with global recognition. So a lot of our students choose to stay in Germany, probably about 60 to 70%. Another third may choose actually to go back to their own country. The motivation of people coming to Germany to study is different. That's your own personal choice. You know, some of you may see it like you want to get a German degree and then use this to get a better job in India. Some of you might want to come here and stay forever, maybe marry a German girl or something, who knows? Set up a family here, set up a business here. Others may choose to, after graduation, to get work experience for 5 or 6 years and then go back home. Okay, so whichever way you choose, we have a dynamic expert career community from our graduates over the last 30 years. We also help investors. So if your parents are interested in buying real estate or setting up a business in Germany, we can support them with this whole process. Here also in Germany, thousands of business owners are looking for successors or investors. So there's a lot of opportunities going here. That's just by the by. And okay, so I'm only supposed to talk for 5 minutes, so going on a bit long here. So one of the questions earlier on was about English taught programs for masters. Now there are over 900 English taught masters programs in Germany. Our institute, together with Mr. Smith, we can help you to get access to these programs. Okay. The thing is with English taught programs that if you are going for a career in Germany, you will find that if you graduate and you haven't learned the German language yet, you will probably have a hard time finding a job. Okay, so our recommendation to everybody is to learn the German language before you start your academic program. It doesn't matter if you're going to study 4 or 5 years in Germany. You will find that the actual program in German or in English. But if you want to go for highly paid professional job opportunities in Germany after graduation, then you need to learn the local language. Okay. If I went to India and tried to get a job without speaking Hindi or something, I would probably have a hard time too. It's the same here. And if you make the effort to learn the German language, you will find not just in Germany, but also in the other countries. There are 200 million people who speak German in Europe, and in other parts of the world as well. You can always get the better job opportunities that way. Okay, I'm going to share another screen with you.
Perfect. Thank you, Andrew, for this short introduction. It's very useful for a lot of students to know. And please, as Andrew rightly said, keep in mind that regardless you do your program in German or English, you need to have German language in your pocket, because that's highly increases your chances of employability after you complete your studies. So this is very important information, once again, coming from Andrew directly, that German language is very, very important. Yes, Andrew.
Right. A bit about our course structure. So when you're actually looking at the German language program, usually our students manage to do the A1 and A2 while they're still in their home country. Some students also go for the B1 and then just come to Germany for B2 and C1. This is where it gets a little more difficult, and it's easier to learn in a German language speaking environment. But the first basic levels you can get done pretty easily through our online tuition. So this opportunity we have right now, we have about 200 students learning online from all the different countries. So even though you're online, you're in a kind of international classroom setting, which is great for the learning experience, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. So here you can see having a bit of fun with the mouse here. So here you can see a few shots of our institute in Berlin. Okay, so our institute is actually based in the original headquarters of Siemens. Everybody knows Siemens. It's a huge German multinational company. And we are very privileged to be able to have our school in this building. Here, I can...
Let's talk nursing.
Okay, this is the canteen, which you can see in our school, serving lovely German meals. Our accommodation facilities are available in Berlin with our institute. You can choose between a shared apartment or a homestay, or a hostel, private apartment. Okay.
And to take us to a slide for bachelor's in nursing opportunity which we have, the nursing pathway.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah. Let me just reshare the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not a bachelor's in nursing. In Germany, the nurses training program is a vocational training. Okay, and this program is a little bit different. it's not academic studies, it's actually an opportunity to get paid vocational training. Okay, so it's a 3-year paid vocational training traineeship. So what happens is that once you've learned the German language up to B1 level, you're then given the chance of a job interview, and we help you with the to get your job application portfolio ready to train you for the interview. And once you've had a successful interview, then you get actually a traineeship contract. Okay, now traineeship contracts in Germany for training to be a nurse are they are paid monthly at roughly 1,100 euros per month. Okay, so the actual trainee course to become a nurse in Germany does not cost any fees, and you're being paid to work on the job while you're learning. Okay, so it's a 3-year program. The requirements to enter this program are lower than if you're going to apply for an academic program at a university. Okay, so if you've completed 12 years of school in India, then on paper you qualify. More important is your motivation. Okay, you should not actually apply for this program unless you really want to become a nurse. Okay, so basically your life is going to be about helping other people. In the nursing program, there are 3 different tracks. One is nursing for the aged. Okay, so in old people's homes. The second one is for nursing children. Okay, so in like a pediatric clinic or something. And the third track is nursing in a clinic, okay, or hospital, which is what most people understand what nurses do. You can also later on qualify in specialized areas of nursing, for example, surgical nursing or emergency operation nursing and things like that.
Okay.
Okay, so that's basically the program. This program also begins online. Okay, so A1 to B1 German language are all taught online, and even the job interviews are done online. Okay, and once you have done the successful job interview, then that's the point in time when you apply for your trainee visa. Okay, and that includes the work permit and everything that you need to get started in Germany as a nurse. Okay.
Very nice.
So, any questions so far?
So I'll start with the questions first off, Andrew. So
Right.
thank you for this brief introduction on training possibility or to be a nurse in Germany. You said there is no, since it's a vocational course, no bachelor's degree required. So that means a school student can actually apply for this training program in Germany. If they complete the German language, they can come to Germany for this training program without a bachelor's degree.
Right. Right. So if you've completed school, 12 years of schooling, or 13 years, if you've done a vocational schooling, then you can apply. You should have some interest in science. So if you've done like biology, chemistry, physics, obviously biology is going to be especially important for the nursing profession.
Right.
But yeah, no need to have a bachelor's or something.
Perfect. So students, make a note of this. If you are still in your 12th class or 11th class and you are looking for your career in Germany, this would be one of the easiest stepping stone inside the careers in healthcare and nursing in Germany. You also then moving forward get enough opportunity to specialize yourself in nurse, or maybe I think there is a choice to move into to study medicine also. Andrew, you can probably help us through with this information as well, that a nurse who has been qualified enough can move into a medicine course if they study.
So yes, there is a possibility, after you've done the training and had some work experience, you can also go into the bachelors and later on masters. If you actually want to study medicine, you might need to go through the Studienkolleg, because that is fairly strict. Yeah.
Okay.
But if you want to go into other areas of the medical field, like public health, that's possible. If you get to Germany and you decide being a nurse is not for you, obviously you can also choose to go through Studienkolleg and then apply for medical faculty. But usually, if you apply for medicine, you will need to have more than 90% marks in your +2.
Yeah.
Okay. 95% would be better. So, because, medicine is popular in many countries, in most countries, even in India, it's difficult to study medicine, I believe. In Germany, it's even more difficult because it's free. Yeah. So I believe in India, you pay a lot of money if you want to study medicine.
True.
And in Germany, it's free. So it's like, what? How can it be free? But it is free. And obviously, that's why there is a lot of people competing for the free medical degree programs. Yeah. So you need to be really, really, really fit. You need to have in all your A levels more than 90%, 95%, then you have a chance.
Yeah. Great. So students, this is the hard requirement. Keep in mind, yes, we have two tracks. One is medicine, one is nursing. Nursing is pretty easy. It will give you the career and money with an easy process to come to Germany. But if you later decide to switch to medicine, yes, you can. But then there are different ways you've got to follow. There's Studienkolleg, there's M course, and most importantly, you first must have 90% in your, or 95%, as Andrew rightly said, in your +2. This is very important. Either you go via nursing route, or you even apply directly for an M course, Studienkolleg. Yeah, you need to have minimum 90% and above to even apply for this entrance exam to get into the M course, Studienkolleg. Perfect. Thank you, Andrew, for this general information on nursing training and medicine. Maybe we can quickly move on to another topic, which was engineering program at TU Berlin for bachelor students. This was interesting because it's TU involved, so we wanted to present this for students who have keen interest in engineering studies, how they can move into bachelor's in bachelor's program at TU Berlin via our institute.
Right. Yeah, so just going to reshare my screen with you again for a different slide. Okay, so yeah, we call this Smart Genius Pathway Program the Engineering and Business Elite Smart Pathway. We've been working with TU Berlin for a long time now. We are based in Berlin ourselves. I'd say probably 30% of our students who want to study engineering, they like to stay in Berlin and study here because TU Berlin is one of the top 50 engineering universities in the world. Okay, so it's a huge comprehensive university, can study almost all engineering fields here. Our point of cooperation with the Technical University of Berlin is with the Studienkolleg. Okay, so there is quite a competitive exam. to get into the TU Berlin, we have a paid option, okay, which gives our students a slight upper edge, okay. We also train our students specifically for the TU Berlin examination, okay, which means you don't just get German language exams, but also fairly difficult maths exam in the entrance exam. You need to pass the maths exam with more than 50%, and you also need to have more than 50% in the German language exam just to pass. Usually to get the place, you need around 65%, okay? So once you get into this, normally there are about 1,000 people sitting for about 100 places. And we have up to 10 slots per semester for specifically for the EURASIA students. Okay, so you have a better chance of actually getting a place. This is one of our most popular programs, and obviously, especially because in Berlin, most of the students would like to stay in Berlin because it's such a great city. And
Yeah. Andrew, can you also provide that option that the student has a choice to pre-book a seat with TU Berlin 1 year in advance when they enroll with Eurasia programs? Because I had this
so
information.
basically that's what it is, but you still need to take the exams. Okay, I always emphasize we can do everything possible for all the students, but we can't take your exams. No.
Yeah, true.
And if the students don't learn properly or don't do well in their exams, all we can do is to continue helping them to prepare for the exams. So if you fail to enter the program in one semester, we have a success guarantee for all of our programs. So that means if the student always comes to classes and always does his or her assignments, and they still don't pass the exam, then we have a free repetition guarantee. So you can you get our support for the next semester, okay? And most students will manage. If they don't manage in the first semester, then they will get in the second semester. But hard work is the key to success in life. You know, just having a guarantee won't guarantee that you work hard. You have to guarantee that yourself. Okay, so the program is there to help you to get into one of the top engineering schools in Germany. We don't take everybody for this program. You have to have good grades at school, and you have to work hard. Those are the two main criteria.
Yeah.
But before you come to Germany, you already get the conditional offer for this program. Okay, so you have a letter from EURASIA accepting you to our pathway, and you have a letter also from the TU Berlin accepting you to the Studienkolleg program.
Perfect. And to apply for this pathway program, Andrew, the student need to have 65, 70% in their 12 in their plus two in their high school.
Yeah, so generally like 65% is the minimum.
Okay. And do they need any German language skills as well to apply, or they can come directly and then start learning German as well?
So at the time of application, which is when the students are still in India, you don't need to prove knowledge of German language. Okay, this is different from the standard procedure, because if you try to apply to TU Berlin via the internet, you will be asked firstly to go through UniAssist, secondly to do test stuff before you even apply. So with our program, because we have an agreement with the university, you can get the acceptance letter at the time of application, and then you can start the German language program. By the time you go for the entrance exam, you must have the B2. And you also must make the application through UniAssist at a later point in time. But these are the things that we are helping the students with.
Okay, so student write an entrance exam, and then if he passes the entrance exam, gets an acceptance to study at TU Berlin Studienkolleg.
Right, and this is either for engineering track or for business track. Okay, so you can go into any field of engineering or IT, or you can choose the business, economics, management track.
Okay.
Okay.
Understood. Perfect. I think this information is again very helpful. So students, just to recap this conversation with Andrew on TU Berlin, if you have minimum 65% and you are looking for business or engineering studies at bachelor's level at TU Berlin, then you can take this EURASIA route, this particular path, enroll for this guaranteed pathway program for TU Berlin, learn the language, come to Germany, write the exam, and then start your studies at TU Berlin from second year onwards in your desired course of engineering or business or IT, and then the success will be yours. Only one thing to note, and Andrew, you can correct me. All these bachelor studies at TU Berlin would be done in German language.
Right.
Right. And yes, perfect. So it's going to be a German language learning, but then it's a guaranteed pathway program via EURASIA. And then on top of it, apart from some fees at EURASIA, which is, I think it's very manageable, you do not pay any tuition fee going forward to TU Berlin for your bachelor studies. So very interesting and attractive proposition for students who want to come to Germany on a guaranteed seat basis with TU Berlin. Perfect. Thank you, Andrew. I think we will quickly go into our fireside chat, possibly to discuss some more questions which are very specific to bachelor studies and in Germany. This would further give a lot of view to the students who are still with us to pick up the choices of future possibilities. Yeah. Unless you have something else, Andrew, to add here.
That's fine. No,
Okay.
ready to go over to the next bit.
Okay. So you can stop sharing your screen, and I will quickly then move on to our fireside questions, which we have planned. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so some general questions, Andrew, for you, for the audience to understand. The first one goes: what is more advantageous, studying in German language or in English language at bachelor's level?
Okay, so I mentioned this earlier. It depends what your final goal is. If your goal is to get an academic degree in Germany as quickly as possible, and then go back to India and get a great job, then your emphasis is on saving time and getting the degree as soon as possible. So in this case, it's good to study in English medium. If, however, your goal is to graduate in Germany and then to get a professional career in a German company or in a European company, then it's definitely going to be beneficial to study in German language, especially if you're studying something which requires a lot of technical terms, because let's imagine, okay, you want to do your master's in engineering, and then you're going to get a job as a master engineer. Now, when you're actually working as an engineer, you want to be the boss, right? You want to be the person who is controlling the engineering process and not the person who's working their socks off for somebody else, right? Um, all the people under you are going to be local German people, okay? And you need to be able to communicate them, and you need to be accepted by them. The only really way to do this is to be able to speak their language and to understand their culture and the way they think. Learning a language is the key to understanding the way people think and act and work on an everyday basis. So, to be successful in a career in Germany, you're going to have to speak not just fluent everyday German language, but also master all the technical terms so that you can actually communicate at all levels with your colleagues or superiors or inferiors. So to be successful in a career in Germany, it's necessary to take the German language track degree programs. If you want to go back home and get a job in India, it's fine, and you save time if you do it in English. Okay, so that's my answer to your question.
All right, thank you, Andrews. So, students, German language bachelors would be more beneficial as compared to English taught bachelors if you want to be successful in career and professional life in Germany. Thank you, Andrew. My second question comes to the vocational training. So, what is the relevance of vocational training or dual system of education, and how can an international student participate in such programs?
Okay, so we touched on the nursing vocational program I was just telling you about. The dual system in Germany has been developed over more than 300 years. Okay, all professions, from baker to nurse, from doctor's assistant to carpenter, they all have a training program. Most of the training programs last 3 years, okay, even to become a baker. Why does it take so long? Because there's always a practical part and a theoretical part. So if you practice any profession in Germany, you always get a very solid theoretical foundation. You get this by going to school 2 days a week. The other 3 days a week, um, you're expected to work and to use the theory in practice. Okay, so for example, if you come here to do a nursing vocational training, it's not actually the 2 day, 3 day system. It's a month of theoretical training and then a month of working in a clinic. Okay, so you're always alternating between theory and practice. Even at an academic level in Germany, if you're doing, there are so-called dual academic degrees, where in order to take the program at university, you actually have to have a job first. Okay, you have to find an employer who will sponsor your studies. Okay, so you're always going to school and working, doing theory and practice. So this is basically the dual system in Germany. How can international students avail of themselves of this opportunity? Quite simple. For a vocational profession, the entry requirements are a little bit lower. As I said, if you completed your +2, then you are basically already qualified. If you want to do the dual academic degree, then you need to have the Studienkolleg foundation year first. Okay, so all of our programs will help the students to get into either of these. What's important is that you have a clear idea of where you want to be in 5 years. Okay, and step one of our Smart Genius pathway programs is always finding out the best career for you.
Right. Andrew, is there any any resource or any particular website where a student can actually look for these vocational training opportunities and can apply directly from India? Or is there any center or institute where which has been instituted to recruit international students for these vocational training programs? It could be across categories. Nursing is one which is available with Eurasia, but this could be engineering and something else. So is there any resource for this?
So there's a website called, I think it's called Make It in Germany.
Okay.
Make It in Germany. Here you can find a lot of general information on how to apply, what the process is, whether you're qualified or not. But I must say that the German system is quite complicated.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not au fait with it, okay, so it is good to have somebody to hold your hand and to walk you through the process. But sure, if you want to research everything on your own, visit the Make It in Germany website and see how far you get.
Yeah.
Actually, most German companies are not yet recruiting trainees abroad. They are still recruiting within Germany. And our institute is quite unique because we are actually training people in the German language so that they can avail themselves of these opportunities. Most of the foreign students who apply for these programs at the moment, they are already in Germany. Okay, maybe they are foreigners who actually grew up here and they already speak the German language, they understand the system, and they just apply for their job or their traineeship. So we are quite pioneering in the sense that we are helping people to come to Germany to do this.
Excellent. So just to recap for students, this vocational training system, vocational education training is on the job training. So you study for two days and 3 days you work in an industry. You already have a sponsorship letter from an industry or a company for which you would work, and you also get stipend. So this is important for you to know that you get paid on the job training. At the same time, while you continue to do your learning, your theory part at the institute or the center with which you are associated or enrolled. Second part in this, I would like to add is that after you're done with your 3 years of vocational training, you actually can move on and do your bachelor studies. Andrew, you can correct me here. Or you can enroll for your bachelor's and then moving on doing master's. But this vocational training is not equivalent to bachelor's degree. Andrew, your thoughts?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So please keep this
It's
distinction very clearly in mind when somebody proposes you that you can come to Germany for bachelor's and on the job training and you get stipend. This is not a bachelor's degree. This is a vocational training which you would do in Germany for 3 years, and then the bachelor's degree is totally different than from this vocational training. So you have to keep this in mind. There is a misselling in the market, Andrew. That is why I wanted to clear this thought. A lot of people sell vocational training under the name of bachelor studies in which you get paid, which is actually a misleading information. So vocational training is something which you get paid on the job and you continue to do this staying in Germany for 3 years, and then bachelor's degree is different. It is possible for vocational training in students to later on enroll themselves for a bachelor's degree in Germany and then continue their studies forward.
okay. There are different programs in Germany. No, Germany is a federal country, so every state has its own way of doing things.
Yeah.
And what you just mentioned may not be misinformation, because I know that in the southwest of Germany, in Baden-Württemberg, there the dual academic programs are quite popular.
Yeah.
And as but as I said, it's not usually a popular option for foreign students. Okay. For the main reason that it's, first of all, you need to get a job before you can study. Okay. And usually the employers will prefer to take Germans because they speak perfect German.
True.
And the foreign students will learn German before they study, but they will perfect their German language over a period of 3 or 4 years while doing their bachelor's. So the entry barriers for foreign students are higher here. So there are some paid bachelor's degrees on the dual track basis, but it's easier for the foreign students to get into vocational training because these are less popular with school leavers in Germany. So they're harder to find trainees than it is to find university graduates because there's a very high level of university graduation in Germany. Yeah.
Okay.
So there are a lot of different things on the market. It's important to have some advice on what you're letting yourself in for, no? Because the worst thing that you can do in your career is to spend 3 or 4 or 5 years doing something, committing your time, committing your energy, committing your money, and then finding out, oh, I did the wrong thing. Now I got to start again.
Yeah.
And this is what we try to do to help our students to find this out before they even start, to help them find out that they are doing the right thing for their future career.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrew, for this information on vocational training. I think it's very helpful, and the distinction has been clearly made. Although with the hashtag that there are some states where this dual system of education or dual vocational education is quite popular and could be equated as bachelor's degree. Since we are totally out of time, I'm going to take one last question before I open this for audience to ask general questions with Andrew, with myself, or whatever level they would like to know. Andrew, my last question with you with this fireside chat today uh, is it the truth or myth that students passing out from public universities has more weighted in job market as compared to private universities in Germany?
So it depends on a lot of factors. We can't just say per se, just because you studied at a particular university that you will get a job. We can't say that. And also it depends on your employer. It depends on your degree program. And it also depends on the university. So if we are looking at private universities, you need to be careful. You need to, is it a renowned university? For example, one of our partners, the Cologne International Business School, is in the top 5 in the rankings in Germany. And there's a special ranking called the Employers Ranking. Okay. This ranking means the top German blue chip companies list the universities whose graduates they love to take the most. Okay. And before you decide to study at one particular business school, find out, take your time to do your research. Okay. If I graduate from this place, am I going to be looking for a job, or are there companies who are going to come to the university and look for me? Okay. There are business schools where the companies come to headhunt the graduates because they know that they are always going to be excellent employees. There are other business schools which are not famous at all, so you need to go looking for a job yourself. Then that's business. If you're looking, for example, at media studies, there are state film academies where the graduates, they don't get picked up when they graduate. They need to go for interviews. They need to try hard to get a job. Then there are private film academies where you get a bachelor's or master's, and there's a queue of employers coming to wait for you to graduate and give you a job immediately. If you're studying engineering, almost 100% of the universities are state universities because there are not many private universities teaching engineering. Okay, so as I said, it depends which career you're going for. It depends on how well renowned, how well known your university is.
Yeah.
I don't think I can give you a general answer like private universities are always better or public universities are always better. What you can say is that private universities, because they charge high fees usually, compared to the state universities, which are charging no fees at all, they must do something extra to justify their existence, right? And to justify their tuition fees. And usually the difference is made at the point of graduation and employment, because they will help them to find their internships. They will have active connections with a lot of companies. They will help their graduates through alumni networks to get better jobs, because that is how a private university builds up its own renommee.
Yeah.
So they will do more for their students than public universities.
Great. Thank you
I
for
hope that answered your question.
absolutely. Thank you, Andrews, because there is again a kind of a misconception, and there's a theory which runs deeper in a lot of students' mind that it is important and vital for them to get entry into a public university. Then only their careers would be more or less safe or secure, or they would be more regarded by employers vis-a-vis to private universities. But then there's a clear distinction here. With Andrew said, depends a lot of different factors. Your area of interest, your opportunities, teaching, uh, how renowned the university is, regardless of public and private. So there are a lot of factors which you need to take into account when you decide to study or apply, and then accordingly you would have a possibility for a bright career. Yes, there are good opportunities with private universities as well, and you can also see that your future jobs are secure even at private universities. So keep this distinction in mind. It doesn't have to be always public universities because it's free. That doesn't always mean that you will also end up in a great job. Private universities as well, you can end up in a very good position in Germany. Yes, thank you. I think this brings to an end to a fireside chat. Andrew, thank you. I'm stopping here and I'm opening the forum for questions because there are a lot of anxious students waiting to ask a lot of questions. It could be related to anything they're going to ask, but I'm going to prioritize. Please ask questions related to bachelor studies, to foundation programs, to anything which is related to education in general in Germany for in this order, because Andrew is here and myself is here to answer your questions on this. Yes, please move ahead with your questions. Please type it in the chat and we will pick it up one by one, and Andrew and myself will try our best to answer your questions. Okay.
I think they were already very active in the chat.
Yes, I'm just scrolling. There were a few wanted to ask about masters, but they got to be specific about master studies. Karan got to be more specific about what kind of master studies you are looking and what is your question. Rajneet asked, well, tell me more about master's degree. Rajneet, there are a lot of master studies available. Andrew rightly touched There are 900 plus master courses available at various German universities. Depending on what you want to study, what do you qualify, what is your profile, and accordingly, that particular master's degree could be informed to you. Okay, there's Harshit asked, my graduation CGPA is 7. Can I get admission in Germany for a postgrad? Harshit, you have a fair chance to get an entry to a university in Germany. It could be public or private, both. But then your previous experience should match to what you would like to study.
So 7 out of 10 for CGPA is okay. It's also enough to be accepted. I think you're talking about masters or bachelors?
Masters.
Masters. Yeah. So yeah, 70% is like minimum for masters, but depending on the subject, if it's engineering, it should be easy enough. If it's something like international business or international relations, a lot of the universities look for 80%. So again, you need to look at which university and which degree program. But generally speaking, very generally speaking, the 7 is okay for most programs.
Okay, there's a new question from Ananya. I want to do masters in biotechnology. So how to proceed further? I have 84% in my undergrads. Andrew, would you like to answer this?
Yeah, so our institute has a lot of partnerships with a lot of different universities. 85% or 84% is absolutely fine for biotechnology. And we can help you to get a conditional offer. It's the same process, whatever you're going for, okay? We need to do step 1 with you to find out your career pathway. We go through the application documents with you before we send it anywhere. And then it's just a question of making the application and waiting for the answer. And because we have a lot of good partnerships with universities, it's usually a lot more effective than if you go through the process yourself. Some universities will require a TestDAF exam before you can apply if you're going to study in German language.
Yeah. So, yeah.
We need to talk really about concrete pathways for each individual student, for each individual study wish.
Yeah.
And for that, it's best if you can book a one-to-one session where we can go through all your documents and qualifications and also do the career assessment with you, okay, to get a really good answer which is related to you and to your future.
Yep. Thank you, Andrew. Ananya, I hope you got the answer. Vamsi, you have completed aerospace engineering. Okay. Can presume you want to go in a master's in aerospace. Please be specific. Aishwarya, with 8.55 bachelor's in commerce. Yes, you are eligible to study a master's program at public universities with 8.5 CGPA. There are good universities which will give you opportunity to study master's in commerce or related with 8.55 CGPA. Harmish is asking, in engineering master's program, can I get easily internship during studies? Harmish, I think it's a part of the curriculum. If there is a possibility where you need to do your internship, yes, there is a possibility to get an internship. But I'm going to add from Andrew's side, please, you got to speak learn some German language, speak some German language, because it eases your chances to get into an internship opportunity with German companies, with German employers. There is a question from Jagdeep. Hello, sir. My name is Jagdeep from Punjab. I have my bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from BECT. I got 68.3 out of 10 CGPA. What is the requirement for masters in mechanical engineering or automotive engineering? With 68, Andrew, public universities would be possible. I have little doubt in this case. Can you advise? Would that be a qualified grade?
68, going for masters
Yeah.
is a bit on the low side.
Yeah.
But for some branches, for aerospace, I think it was.
No, no, it's for mechanical.
Oh, mechanical. Okay, so mechanical engineering is in Germany, believe it or not, it's not one of the most popular degree programs with the Germans. So foreign students usually have an easier time in applying. But if you want to go to one of the top universities, probably 68% is going to be a bit on the low side. But there are still maybe a lot of smaller universities or universities of applied sciences where you can, I think, probably get a place with that grade. Yeah.
Okay. What is English? So, Jagdeep, English proficiency language tests are IELTS and TOEFL, which you can do based on the university application requirement. Usually, they want minimum 6 band in IELTS and anything between 85 to 90 in TOEFL. That's the bare requirement for a good public or private university, which you should have. Aishwarya asks, sir, can you list out some of the master's courses in commerce in which has a great demand in Germany? Aishwarya, this is a one-to-one question. I will share it in an email with you. Just drop an email to us, and I will share some list of those universities which are offering master's program in commerce and English language at public university, which you can apply. Please just send me an email. Okay, there are a lot of questions on masters coming. Okay, which has a demand, which has a demand. Okay. Nishant is asking, I want to do masters in artificial intelligence. So can I get admission? And I have 70% in BTech, but on the other hand, I have just 50% in my 12th. Am I eligible for free education? Andrew?
So the +2 was 50%.
Yes.
The bachelor, but the bachelor's was
70.
70%.
Yeah.
So it does depend on which university was graduated from for the bachelor's. If it's a top university in India and 70%, then it's okay. If it's maybe not a top university in India, it may be difficult, but and the +2 of 50% certainly doesn't help because it's very low. It is a pass, okay, but if you're going for masters in Germany, there is some level of competition. But because you have a bachelor's with 70%, we can definitely look into opportunities and see. However, you should have like a very clear career application profile. You should be clear in your motivation of where you want this to go. But that it's again a very individual question. We need to have a look at your curriculum vitae, your letter of motivation, your reference letters, and then come to a decision what might be best for you. Okay.
Perfect. So, since we are now totally out of time, Andrew, and the system might stop. What I would say is most of these questions are coming for master studies. Purav, please put in my calendar link so that people can book an individual timing as per their convenience to get on a one-to-one call to get all their queries answered with respect to the master studies in Germany, and would be very happy to take them one to one and discuss their profile because these are all masters related queries, and we are totally out of time. And we also have to thank our guest. It's been already 2 hours since he has spent with us. And
So one final point, because there are so many masters students. If you want to go for the English taught masters, then 70% is too low. Okay, there you need 80% or 80 to 85% to have a chance. If you're unsure because you may be borderline, like 68%, 70%, or 75%, but not a famous Indian university, then we recommend that you go for the German taught master's track. And yeah, based on your profile, we will recommend a University of Applied Sciences or a smaller comprehensive university. This is really one of the main points where we can support you, basically saving you maybe half a year or a year because we know which universities are going to accept you, so you will save yourself a lot of time in this process. Okay, sorry for interrupting you, Sumit.
No, perfect. I think you definitely made a point. Students, so with little low grades, I think we can definitely, take support with Eurasia, because they can also find good programs at master's level for you, and also create your pathway and career goals, which would be easier to achieve as compared to what you have right now, or what do you think is achievable. So that it does make sense to get on one-on-one call with us, and then we can help you directly with either bachelor studies or master studies, defining your career goals. So this is very important for you to know as well. Okay, so now we are totally out of time. Thank you, Andrew, to take your time on Saturday morning. I know in Germany, Saturday, Sundays are valued. It's a family time, but you took 2 hours in the morning and has spent valuable, given us a valuable input today for a lot of our students who stayed till the very end. I think it has been a useful session, and we really thank you to participating today, and we are looking forward for your more support, help, and participation in our next master class like this. Over to you.
So thanks for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to talk to the students. And yeah, thank you, students, also for sticking around and listening.
Yeah.
And yeah, encourage you all, if you have a dream, then go for the dream, follow the dream, and do in life the things which you really love. Because this will make you happy as successful. Okay, and we'd like to help you on this journey. So keep at it, stay committed, and stay focused. And thank you, Sumit, for helping these students. And hope to see some of you again soon in Germany.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you. Good day. Thank you, students. Once again, just repeating, you can book a 30-minute session with us directly, and we would be very happy to take on one-to-one queries regarding your bachelor's, master's, or any studies which you would like to have. I hope this session has been useful for you, and we are looking for connecting with you again shortly and discussing one-on-one. Thank you for now, and I wish you all a very, very nice Saturday.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye, Andrew. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.